About 4 days ago, we got a phone call from a friend of ours in the city council asking if we could help out with masks, mask filtration, anything we could do to help the doctors in the local hospitals just have something to wear between now and when they can start receiving proper respirators and masks and PPE from, the certified companies. The mask we came up with, it's got a nice tight fit. It's kind of got that oxygen mask kind of fighter pilot form fit. It's moldable, it's still bendable. There's a little wire frame underneath that soft felt that you can shape. You can bend it around your nose. You can open it up if you need to. We added a little bit of felt here to prevent chafing around the nose. We've tightened up the corners where we folded it. We've back folded everything so that the wires on the edges don't protrude anywhere. And then we gave it 2 bands, so you get one over the top of your head and one behind your neck. Creates a pretty good fit. The material that we're using for the frame is this air filter. It's just for the outside and the inside of the mask. Then we take a material that's HEPA rated, and this material we have sourced. We have enough to make about 5,000 masks. That's the best we're going to be able to do. So one of the things we want to look for, that we test for, is to ensure there's no fiberglass in this filter. So the test we came up with is just the tip of our hot glue gun, and we're looking to see it melt. If there's fiberglass in there, it's going to resist the melt. So that's pretty clean. That's pretty clear indication that there isn't any fiberglass in there. So we're going to get started. It's just a series of folds and a little bit of hot glue. We put a band in and it's done. It's really simple. We have 3 patterns. This is the outside. So I just rolled this over. I think it's probably best if we just make this in a large pattern and then trace it once. There's core material. It sits a little bit inside. I backed it off here on these edges so that we can roll the material without it getting too bulky. But it's still, I made sure that we're still getting 100% coverage when we're done. This piece here is just a nose piece. This is just a soft felt that kind of bridges the nose. Again, it hasn't been tested more than a few days. We're moving fast, but I've seen a lot of images of people with pretty bad rashes from masks, and this is hopefully going to alleviate that. So what we do is we start by putting our center in. This is our HEPA medium. We lay that right inside here. Make the first fold. I'll back this fold off about 1/8 of an inch at the top, just because as I roll the bottom, it's going to walk across the top, and we should land right about level. This is our first roll. We'll roll right here at the bottom. We'll just start bending this up. And we'll do that again. We're rolling everything to the outside, so the face side never has a hard edge. Crimp it. See how those line up now? We started 1/8 of an inch back right here, and now that we've rolled this edge, we've evened it out. So this surface walked across the bottom just a little bit. I'm rolling about 1/4 of an inch, a little less than 1/4 of an inch on each of these edges, just so that we don't overdo it. Just need enough to keep everything together. So I'm doing one corner, another corner, and now I'll go to the nose. This is the bridge of the nose right here. Start our first roll. And now we'll go back to this. We'll do our second roll. On this one, we're gonna stand it up vertically. I'm gonna stop right there. We'll hold that right there. And I'll put the nose piece in. So this piece, soft side towards the face. I'll set that right about there. So I'm going to roll this in and then finish this final roll. Same over here. I'll give it a little stretch, make sure it's a little bit secure, and set that in. And then finally the bridge, the last piece we roll over. Make sure that stays in, and then crimp it. So this is what we're starting with. Here's the nose piece right here, and this will be the outside of the mask. So now I'm going to fold this over. I'm going to run it about 3/8 of an inch down from the bottom of the mask. And this is the outside, right? So all the folds are on the outside. So I'm folding into the center. I put a scale out here, and we'll put the dimensions on this scale. But the scale starts with the width of the mask, and then I'll run to the inside. I've got these 2 inside marks. I'll just put my thumb down on that. I fold this up until I'm right at the edge of this fold. I'm right at the corner of that roll, that front roll. So I'm going to just send that right up to there. I'll do the same over here. Make sure I'm on the edge. Roll that right up. And I'm right there. So these are the first folds. This is the top of the mask. I'll open that back up. The second major fold is going to be taking the bottom and bringing it right up to that center. I'm going to roll this right up to the center here. Back on our scale, I'm going to go to these 2 outside marks. I'm going to set my thumb down here, roll that up. Again, right here, roll that up. Okay, now I'll open all that up. When I open this, I want to flatten. There's this one bend right here on the outside. I want to flatten that one, and I'm going to bring this down to it. So I want to see this corner overlap this seam just a little bit. So I'm looking for that to land right about there. That seems just about the right fit for most people. So we'll put that there. Then I come in with crimpers and flatten all of this out. I like to get, if you can see here, you've got this corner right here. I like to get the crimpers over that corner because I want to really compress all the fiber right there. I want to make sure that that right there stays tight. There we are. So we'll do the same over here. Open that up, bring this down. Okay. You can kind of see the shape that we're getting here. It's a nice tight fit so far. Now I'll trim these ends just a little bit right here. Just kind of clean it up. I'll cut a little bit towards the top, like that. And I'm going to start 2 small folds on these ends. These are the wings where we'll install the rubber bands. So we'll start right there. So I'm using, these are 7-inch rubber bands. These are for packaging. They're latex free. I'm going to tie these together. If I could get a 12-inch rubber band, that would be best. We're using 2 7-inch. We end up with about a 10-inch loop by the time we're done. It's pretty good. And then on this side, I'm going to take a little over an inch off. That'll be around the neck. And then tie this. Give this a square knot so it holds right there. I'll trim these ends. So now I'm going to take this, I'm going to look for that short side that I trimmed. It's right here. That side's going to go around the neck. And I'm going to run this knot just a little bit high, right about there, and fold it in with my thumbs. Then we'll fold that over, crimp that down. You can see our band is in. Go to the other side, put this in, roll that over, close that in. Perfect. Now I'm going to glue around here. A lot of times with these rolls, they tend to bunch to the top. So I want to make sure that I address that, and I'll put a little bit up around the top just in case there's a wire coming out. We conceal that, clamp it with a couple of these paper clips. Go to the other side, a little bit around the top. Really simple. Clamp that. Perfect. Now I'll shape the nose. I'll take this. I like to give the nose a little bit of a bend before I put the glue in. I'm going to run a little bit of hot glue around this seam just to keep everything tight, keep that from unrolling at any point. So I'll give this a little bit of shape, just so that when we do go to bend it later, we're not fighting the glue. There we go. I'll give this a little flare back too. I like flaring these back just a tiny bit so they have a nice seal. And then I'll run a little bit of glue just up under this bridge. There we go, just like that. Then as this sets, that's pretty good. I like to put a spot inside here just to keep that from lifting. So we're thinking about longevity. This is going to be worn for, hopefully as long as somebody needs it. So I'm going to get right under that and put one little dot, tiny bit. And I'm going to pinch that. Give that just a second. Do the same on this side, right under there, little bit. So that creates a really nice seal. I like to put my thumb right under the front here and bring it up. Just stretch it a little bit. Kind of takes the pressure off the front of my nose and kind of forces it to the bridge. So around the neck, over the top, and if you see the fit, it's tight. Everywhere around it is really tight. That's what we've come up with. If anyone has better ideas, we're all ears. We're going to be rolling on this, doing what we can. People on the front lines need our help right now. We're doing our best.